your skin. The love is right, let them have their time. And I have this notion, let's keep these wheels in motion. In motion. And it's worse you for what I did not know. Did you think I would let it go? Oh no. And in time, yes, I'll think it's absurd, but until then you'll leave your words. But lay on, lay on. Now it's time to defend your lies, the lies you've been feeding me all this time. And will you reoffend? Oh darling, you say that you are innocent, but your words, they seem irrelevant, but still play on. Now it's time to defend your lies, the lies you've been feeding me all this time. And will you reoffend? Oh darling, oh you have reached your lover's end. No more will we make pretend like we something to fight for. Oh. We had nothing to fight for. 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 wanted was love, but that was never enough. No, never enough. 'Cause you were chasing your dreams, now you can't redeem yourself. 'Cause you were chasing your dreams, now you can't redeem yourself. Disregarding your name, your smell is all that remains. They say you're an SLUT, but that doesn't sit well with me. It doesn't sit well with me. I remembered what you say. We're all looking to be alone. And somehow, someday, we'll find what we're looking for. Till then, you'll still be a boy.
Good evening, race fans. How are we on this fine Monday evening? We're back, of course. It's Monday, so it means the ZFS Championship Season 6 is well underway. We're in round... are we round 5 or are we round 6? I think we're round 6. The lobby says round 5, but we're not. We're definitely around 6. Round 5 was last week at Road Atlanta. This week we're in Tokyo Expressway East clockwise. And we're back to the inventory cars, the ZFS inventory cars. And if you don't know what that means, ZFS is essentially a game within a game. So you have a sort of online single player mode. Not single player mode is the wrong word. An online career mode. There's not really a proper career mode in Gran Turismo, as you know. But they do offer an online career mode. You can earn credits for racing, not actually real money, ZFS credits that is, and you can buy cars and upgrades and all sorts of bits and bobs with it. So they're using their garage inventory cars that they have earned this evening, and we've got a really, really cool selection out there. This racetrack is 4.5 miles long, 7.3 kilometres. For those Europeans among you, 12 turns, but it is probably one of the fastest circuits on Gran Turismo. You've got an incredibly long straight, which makes up almost half the circuit. 2 and a bit miles long is the straight from the final quarter, turn 12, up to turn 1. Plenty of opportunity for slipstream overtakes, and that's pretty much it's probably there, maybe turn 1 if you're very, very brave, and the little straight running down to turn 12 are your overtaking opportunities today. It's going to be about exit out of those corners to maximise your speed. The faster cars, the ones that are faster in a straight line, really going to benefit here. Looking at topping out about 170, 172-ish going into turn 1. They'll already be doing 160 when they cross the line halfway down that long straight. And you can see on the VT here as you come up through the tunnel, absolutely on the raggedy edge of power. Today they will be using hard and soft compound tyres. Not quite as bad on tyre wear as last time out, but the softs are not going to last long. I'm not going to start calling it as the 2-stop or 3-stop race because it's clear these guys don't like stopping for tyres. So I think we're just going to go. It's going to be another pretty much one stopper for everybody. Laps today, how many laps? It's 23 laps with the standard 10-minute qualifying, which should start in about a minute's time. I've got some great cars out today. We've got the V12 Vantage, which Jax will be in, the VGT, which your current reigning champion, of course, Shake Your Booty, is in. So you have a quick look at the guesstimates, for want of a better expression. That's the predictions for the race today. Of course, Shake Your Booty is going to be predicted to win yet again. He's been dominant so far this season in every single race. Sharkmere predicted again for a second, with Dan predicted again for a third place finish. JJ 4th, Schmergen 5th, 6th for Goodar, Stu Shelton 7th, Ridders, who's getting a lot of airtime on Black Flag Racing TV at the moment, with Simsa on a Sunday as well. Ridders might have to start advertising for us. Satan Edinburgh lad down there in 10th, Azumez Vescu, 12th DJ, predicted to finish in 13th place. I can tell you, I've had a quick look at practice. Now, the lap times, we expect it's going to be under 2 minutes a lap for the top-end guys, particularly on the soft compound tyres. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw, with some slipstream, a sub-158 qualifying lap today. We have seen some low 58s already in the practice session. Some of the cars are going to be quick. You've got the Ford GT 2018 race car that's out there today. That is super quick in a straight line. The Peugeot VGT is pretty darn quick. The GT Spec 2 as well, that's going to be quick in a straight line. The 4C is out there as well. Dan's in that. That's going to be quick through the through sector 2 and 3, through the twisty part of the circuit. But of course you've got to keep it out of the walls, and that is going to be the biggest problem today, is keeping the car away from those very dangerous walls. Of course, as soon as you get some damage, you're going to have to get it repaired, and we know how much it compromises your race if you do clip a wall today. It's going to be a very difficult race if you do, but it's so easy to do so, particularly through the difficult sectors 2 and 3. We'll see here. You see here on the video now. This is a lap around. I think this was in NSX. Could be wrong. Can't remember what car it was in. Did it ages ago. But you head up out of the tunnel. We'll do a full on board when qualifying starts. But if you could pick up some slipstream here on the at the beginning of the lap, not get compromised through the twisty section after turn 2, and then pick up some slipstream at the end of the lap as well, you could very well see yourself putting yourself on pole. That's going to be key today, and that's going to be key to you. What you don't want to do if you're chasing a car down, you do not want to get out of the slipstream. It's going to be very difficult to keep up with them. Sectors 2 and 3, very complex. It's all about feathering the throttle and the brake, but trying to keep up as much momentum through this twisty section as possible. Tricky part there, you clip a wall through there, and that's your lap done. But if you can keep it out of the walls, you can keep the momentum through the corners, keeping those high gears, you could very well see yourself bringing away the big prize today. Of course, it's going to be so difficult to look beyond Shake Your Booty yet again. He's been absolutely Max Verstappen in it. Dominant throughout. Whatever strategy he chooses, I imagine he's probably going to start on the hard tyres. As he generally tends to start on the harder compounds, as does drivers like Amsterdam and some of those front runners. So we're unlikely with those hard compound tyres to see them on pole. They're just not going to get the pace through sectors 2 and 3 that those on the soft tyres are going to get. It's not going to compromise them so much on this long straight heading between turns 12 and turns 1, but the massive compromise in speed they're going to get through that through the middle part of the racetrack on the way back down, it's going to be very, very difficult to get on the front row without running softer compounds. So this is where you make the choice. Do you want to start on that harder compound? You're going to be starting further down the grid. You're going to be starting further back, but you're going to be able to run that a little bit longer. Then you can finish the race strong on that softer compound diet and go for the chase down. And with the benefit of the car in front punching a lovely hole through the air all the way down this long run, it's not actually a bad shout to start on the hard compounds. And I think pretty much everybody, if they've got their head screwed on correctly, will be doing that. Let's get straight involved with qualifying. 10 minutes of qualifying starting pretty much. I think we're starting now. The clock hasn't started yet, but we'll soon see if anyone goes out. Maybe it's bugged. I won't jump in just yet because the clock hasn't started ticking, so there might be a problem. Here we go. Right, I can tell you that Dan, Stu Shelton, Edinburgh Lad, who has been really quick in that 2018 GT Ford, and Shark are on the hard compound tyres to start this qualifying session. The rest on the soft compounds. It looks like they're diving back in the pit, so I think they are, because we lost JJ just as qualifying started, so I think they might be doing a reset. That is my my expectation. If you're looking for good, solid racing action, then you can look no further than Black Flag Racing TV this weekend. We are back with round 4 of the Gran Turismo Endurance Championship, and we're off to Watkins Glen for the 6 hours at the Glen. It's a couple of weeks earlier than the actual event, which is, of course, on the 20th of June, but we'll be doing the G-Tech event, the G-Tech Mirror event for that this weekend, and it will be one continuous broadcast across the 4 stints this time out. No separate broadcasts, so do get involved. Starts from midday on Saturday, UK time, of course, and you'll get all the action here live on Black Flag Racing TV. Lobby 2 not being broadcast tonight, just a quick announcement. Quintus has his laptop went bang last week. He got a new laptop, but he's having some issues getting it set up and ready to go. To be fair, he did leave it at lastminute.com before he let me know, otherwise I could have done it earlier, but we'll get it all set up and he'll be back with you for next week and obviously for the weekend, of course. So just waiting for the new lobby to come up so we can jump in and get cracking. There are so many lobbies up here in my friends list, it's crazy. There we go, lobby 1. We are back. So just going to set it all up again for qualifying and have another go at it. It did look initially when we went in that there was a bit of a bug issue because it wasn't starting the clock, and then JJ quietly disappeared from our screen. So just a couple of minutes wait while we get everyone back in the room and get cracking. In terms of the championship at the moment, I'd like to say it's hotting up, but it is all shake your booty. He is absolutely, the Greek driver, absolutely dominating this championship season at the moment. Finding pace everywhere. Doesn't seem to be struggling with any car, any track setup, any settings. Just every single race is bringing the A game. We've got Dan. He's up there. He's trying to give it a go, as has been Shark. We know Ridders is capable of a bit of pace. Ridders in that RS01 today. Well, actually, let's run through who's got what. Stu Shelton's going to be in the GTR Nismo. Tried, tested, great car for this track. Good straight line speed. Good control through the corners for an FR car. Jax will be in the V12 Vantage, Aston Martin. Shark in the Supra GT 500, the 1997 version. Interesting. It's got good pace, but has it got the straight line speed of some of these other cars? DJ is running in the Z4 GT3. Not sure he's going to have the pace in that BMW that he would like. Dan in the 4C, he's compromising a bit of straight line speed with that 4C to gain in the twisty sector. That 4C is going to be very good through sectors 2 and 3, but it will lose out a little bit. It's going to need some slipstream in sectors 1 and 4. Peugeot VGT for Stu Sheldon and for Edinburgh Lad, who's still yet to come back into the room. Sure he'll be here soon. The GT500 Nissan GTR for Vescu. He's gone for the older version of that Nissan GTR. Very, very good car, and it sounds awesome. The two best sounding cars for me in this game are that GTR GT500 and the new Porsche non-GR car. I can't remember which one it was that they brought in a couple of updates ago. I haven't seen any of the new cars since the latest update. I haven't bothered with them. Who else we got, and what else are they driving? Shake Your Booty. I can't remember what car he's in. I think he is. Is he not driving one of the GT1s? Maybe not. He's in the VGT. So Shake Your Booty and Vale in that Peugeot VGT. We've got Edinburgh Lad was in that the Ford GT. I think JJ may well also be in the Ford GT. We'll see what Zoomez is in as well. So JJ is in. Oh, it hasn't come in yet. There he is. So Zoomez is in the R8, the Audi R8. Hate that car. Absolutely hate it. A friend of mine actually bought an Audi R8, and he said it was the worst money he'd ever spent on anything, ever. It looks great, but the car itself is just a bag of shit. And JJ, who we lost initially, he's in the other Ford GT. He's gone for the Spec 2 test car, so the slightly older version, over the one that Edinburgh Lad has opted. Well, where is Edinburgh Lad? Edinburgh Lad seems to have disappeared. Is he in a different lobby, maybe? I wonder if Edinburgh Lad's dropped to a different lobby. He's not here. Strangely, he was certainly here in practice, but he's not returned for the race for whatever reason that might be. So interesting. We'll get to see now who performs best. Now, Shark's just left the room. Are we having a few lobby issues? Now, there was an update last week, and generally what follows an update will be issues. I think Shark is going to be the new host. I think Dan's having a few problems hosting. I do hope this is not one of those update problems where we end up with no end of issues following a little update from PED. It wouldn't be the first time, and it certainly won't be the last, in my opinion. But he is starting a new lobby, is Shark. So I do apologise. It's going to take a little bit of time while we get set up. Talk amongst yourselves, of course. For some reason, my chat is not up. Why is my chat not up on the screen? Let me have a look at my settings and work out why that is. What am I looking at? Layout. Ooh, my chat's disappeared. I'll give you time. It gives me time to fix it, doesn't it? I suppose it gives me time to repair that small error. Let's do that now. Let's bring up the chat. I don't even know if there's anyone in it. A lot of work going on to see if there's anybody in the chat, I suppose. There we go. There is a couple of people in there. Hello. It's Omega. How you doing, my friend? Lazy Dutchman, of course. How are you? It's been a while since I've seen you about, Dutchman. Good to have you back with us. And Omega, of course. Dan, of course. Hello. So, issues today, then. Pop out chat, that's the one I want. And then I can put that away then, can't I? There we go, little pop out chat box. I'll stick that in the corner like a good little boy. So just wait for everyone to jump in, and we will finally get cracking eventually, I promise. Me and the missus have decided to yet again give up smoking. So back on the vape for me, and she's back on that nicotine spray thingy. So the last packet of cigarettes is currently residing in the garden. So if you don't hear from me between ever again, it's because one of us has killed the other one because of our insane nicotine addiction. So I'll either be in prison or dead. Well, you'll hear. You'll hear in the news. There'll either be a tribute or a, yeah, I knew he was a bit of a dodgy one, that one. You don't really hear that, do you? You know, when they, like, you get a story in the newspaper or on the news about a crazed axe man. You know, they interview the people on the street and they're always like, oh, yeah, he was all right. I didn't feel, you never expected it from him. No one ever comes on the news and goes, Crazy Dave, I knew he was, there was something wrong with him. That's what you need. That's what you need. You need the guy that knew he was a nut job and no one listened to him. That's what you need when you're interviewing people on the news for that. Big news in motorsport today, of course, is Esteban Ocon has been sacked by Renault. Well, he's not sacked. He's still going to race to the end of the season, but he's not having his contract renewed. And I think that is probably one of the best decisions they've made. In fact, the only sensible decision they've made since they signed him in the first place. So, yeah. So Esteban Ocon will be gone from Renault. Be interesting to see who jumps into that seat next season. Will it be one of the junior guys coming through from F2? Or have they got a big name lined up to jump in next to Pierre Gasly? Possibly Carlos Sainz. Obviously, he's not going to be at Ferrari next year. That could be a possibility. Seat has obviously opened up there for Sainz. Of course, if Sainz doesn't go to Mercedes, or, well, we don't know. It could be all change everywhere, couldn't it? We're all still waiting for the wonderful news that Lance Stroll has been sacked, because we all know that he's got no business being in Formula One. He's got no business being anywhere near a car, in all fairness. But yeah, one day we'll get that great news, and we'll all be pleased about that. So we're still waiting for everything to get cracking. It's taking its time. Everyone is checking in now. Edinburgh Lad has returned. I expect to see him do very well in qualifying. He's in that Ford GT 2018 race car, which is incredibly quick. It's like shit off a shovel in a straight line, and will absolutely burn through Sector 3 and Sector 4 and Sector 1, or the end of Sector 3. Then Sector 4 and Sector 1, absolutely like rocket up that long straight. Right, qualifying, hopefully, touch wood, got wood everywhere, will begin now. Let's see if we make it. It is taking an awful long time to load, though. I'm not optimistic after the cock-ups we've had thus far, but we will see very soon what happens. Looks like all is working. Let's get all my stuff up and let's get you guys involved in the action. Right, we are actually underway. So, Jax is first out. We're going to go on board with Jax. So this is the long run up the hill, stretching that engine out on this outlap. This is obviously the outlap you're not going to get set your best time. You can see everyone behind is leaving a bit of a gap at this stage. You do not want to get in the dirty air of the car in front coming through this section here. Stay away from the walls here, or you're essentially going to make your lap a very complicated one. This is where it's all changed. This is where you really need to have your wits about you. You've really got to use as much of the track as possible, but while being sensible. You've got this long sweeping left hand into the long sweeping right hand. That is taken pretty much flat out. Then you're looking at a gear change, a little dab on the brakes, changing down into fourth gear, get it, turn left, flick it to the right before you're back on the power again. Again, sweeping around to the right hand side. You've got a little lift here. You don't want to be going into the wall. And another little lift here, just to make sure you get the rotation. You don't clip that wall on the exit. Climbing up the hill into this fourth gear corner, where it's gone down to third. Then you can get back on the power. Little lift for the left-hander before you get back on the power again And this time you are flat out until turn 12 through the little bollards, keeping it to that left-hand side. This is a massive 180 hairpin at the end here. You want a late apex on the way out. Get on the power nice and early, boom shanker, and you are away. Excuse me, sneezing from nowhere. Flat out now all the way. Now if you pick up a penalty, that's where the penalty line is. It's going to cost you absolute oodles. 1 second penalty here equates to about 3 seconds by the end of the straight. Do not get a penalty or damage is basically the order of the day. Right, so we look, no one behind's got into the slip. Is anybody picking up some slipstream from the car ahead? Shake your booty, getting a little bit off JJ there. Ridders, it looks like Ridders, did he pick up some damage? Why has he gone into the pit stop there? Vale getting loads from Dan. Dan in that 4C. He's going to breeze past him. So that will benefit him here, but will Dan now get the benefit further down the line? Because Dan will be in behind Val. I do love this. It's a beautiful looking car, that Peugeot VGT. And the tribute to, and you see with the dirty air, just how difficult it is to get it slowed down. He's on those hard tyres as well, which is going to make it a little bit harder. But the tribute to the wonderful Valentino Rossi on Vale's car, just up ahead. You can see just how quick this track is. You're almost at top speed in top gear for about 80% of the lap. The rest of the time you're slowing down just a turn, and that's it. You're back full throttle again. There's no nuance about it really, apart from a couple of the twisty bits through this section where you've got to be a little bit careful with your lift and your braking. It's gone a little bit too hard, and that's damage for Dan. That lap is busted. Now my advice would always be, if you've got a circuit like this where damage is possible, particularly with the walls being so close, is get a banker lap in first, get something on the board. It might not be the best lap you can do, but get something half representative on the board, because then you can push, and then if you do pick up damage, at least you've got something there to play with, and that's front aero damage, so that's going to really compromise his speed through the fast corners. And of course on this long straight you can see just how much of a gap that Peugeot is pulling away on the 4C there. So on pole at the moment is JJ. He is a 1:58.5. There is a sub 58 in this circuit without question, with the right amount of slipstream. Shake your booty, half a second off the pace at the moment in that Peugeot VGT. He's opted to start on the soft compound tyres today, not the hard. They usually Shake Your Booty likes to start on the harder compounds and work his way through, but today he's opting for a start on the softs, as is JJ. Jack's as well on those softs, currently on row 2. He's got Vale for company. Vale's got a bit of damage as well on the front of that Peugeot, opting not to pit that time out. Is he going to come in at the end of this lap and then gives him one more run basically and a quick lap? I reckon that will be the way forward. We wanted to get that 2 minutes up on the board. Zumez currently sitting on row 3. Only Shake Your Booty and JJ sub 2 minutes at the minute, which is surprising considering the pace of these guys. Zumez, the Portuguese driver, 2 minutes 0.8. Edinburgh lad, in practice, I can tell you that Edinburgh lad was in the low 159s. So he's got a couple of, at least a couple of seconds to find. Now, whether he got that with slipstream or not, I can tell you. Actually, I think it was in 58s. I think he dipped into those. Oh, maybe not. Yeah, I think he did actually dip into the 58s in practice. So, and a mistake there, and that's going to cost you every single time. He backs out, lets the cars go through. Shark 202 in that Supra looks awesome, but is it got the pace of the cars around him today? Not entirely sure it does. I think he's going to struggle a little bit for pace with those around him. He's, of course, on the hard compound tyres, which will make a difference. And as we talk about going sub 58, not quite there yet, but Shake Your Booty with a 58.5, stealing pole away and knocking JJ down to second position. That's a 2:01 for Gary. He does improve. Edinburgh lad, we know he's had to go and pit. He's on his outlap. He's going to go again. Stu Shelton with a 2:04.6. He's got some time to find, but again, it's those hard compound tyres are going to make all the difference. DJ on the softs, no better at the moment for DJ than a 2:06. No, I've got to say that BMW Z4. The BMW is not a strong car around here. Every time I've seen a race here at Tokyo, whether it be in the Z4 or the M6, whatever it is, the M3, both endurance and sprint models, so they don't have that oomph at the end. Well, we'll have a look. We'll see we'll see what his top speed is at the end of the straight when we come around. So Shake Your Booty, currently sitting on pole. He's opted to start on the soft compound tyres. In fact, everybody, Ridders as well on the soft, Jacks as well, Vescu, Vale. So Shark in 8th is the highest runner not using the softs. I'm quite surprised. I thought more would be on the hards to start and get those tyres out of the way to give them that additional oomph at the end of the race. Although the softs aren't going to last long, probably 6, maybe 7 laps. I'll say that every time, but these guys drive on tyres that have no business being on a race car. So Shake Your Booty, he's not going to improve on that 58, or is he? Well, he does improve a little bit, but he doesn't go sub 58. But you can see there he's already at 173 miles an hour before he comes out of the tunnel. Most cars are topping out at 171, 172. At the end of this straight, he's going to be knocking on the door of 180 by the time he gets into turn 1. Absolute phenomenal pace from Shake Your Booty. We see the difference here for DJ in the Z4. So heading down this long straight, he's got no slipstream. He's actually punching a hole in the air for a car behind him. He's going to cross the line within 2 minutes. So he has closed that gap a little bit up into 5th. And he's, of course, on the soft compound tyres as well. Up the hill he goes in that Z4. Look at the difference in speed. 168, 165 coming out of the tunnel. 168, 170. He's only just hitting 170 now. That's how fast Shake Your Booty is going in that, in fact, both drivers in that Peugeot when they come out of the tunnel, so into the braking zone, not quite clipping that 175 level. JJ in the GT, the Ford GT as well. That's going to be a car that is going to really have some pace at the end of the straight. Is there anyone else coming through there? Missed Ridder's time there. Who else is coming up the straight now? Oh, there we go. There's Edinburgh lad. He's actually in that 2018 Ford GT, and across the line he goes. That's an outlap, so not really representative, but already you can see punching 170 coming out of the tunnel, but it seems to top out there strangely. I suppose as it goes, because it's got that hill as you come out of the tunnel, which is why it wasn't quite getting further on, but 174, 175, flirting with 176 into the braking zone. So clearly it's that Peugeot VGT has got the oomph at the end of that straight line. But at the moment, Edinburgh lad, despite having a phenomenal lap time in qualifying, not been able to replicate that. So final lap of qualifying for everyone pretty much. Shake Your Booty with a 158.3 on pole. JJ with a 158.5 in that excuse me, he's in that other Ford GT, isn't he? Which would explain, yeah, he's got that pace. He's currently sitting on that front row with him. Ridders, he is on his final lap. Is he going to beat the 48? It doesn't look like he's going to hit the Dizzy guys. He's going to be outside the 2-minute window. I think 159.6. He's not going to beat that, is he? No. So 159.6 for him. That's good enough though for the second row. Zumez's already done. He's just behind Ridders. We've got DJ heading up row 3. Good lap from him with Jax for company. Jax is parked up out the side of the road. Vescu. He is in 7th on row 4. He's got Vale for company in the other Peugeot. Vale not finding anywhere near the pace. 1.9 seconds slower than Shake Your Booty in that qualifying session. Dan way down in ninth place in that 4C. I've got to say, I can't see where he's going to find all that additional pace in that 4C. It's a great little car. I love the 4C, but it's not a car I'd pick for this circuit. You need something with that. I suppose it depends on the quality of driving. I'm not very good through corners, so I go for maximum speed down the straight bits. Shark in that Supra. He's going to be starting on the hard compound tyres as well, down in 10th. Edinburgh Lad also on the hards. He's got some damage there. Couldn't find any pace at all, really. But was on the hards, as was Stu Shelton. There's the official full result for you all. Shake Your Booty from JJ. That's your front row in the Peugeot VGT and that Spec 2 Ford GT. Ridders in the RS01 with Zumez. They're on row 2. DJ and Jack's on row 3. Vescu with Vale. They're on row 4. Round out that top 8. And then you've got the hard tyre runners, Dan, Shark, Edinburgh Lad and Stu Shelton in 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th. So going to be an interesting race. Those guys on the hard tyres need to try and keep as much as possible up with those soft tyre runners. They do not want to be losing too much time to them and give those soft tyre runners a big gap. Shake Your Booty is going to absolutely disappear off into the distance. They cannot let that happen. It's very important that they stick with him all the way up this straight and do not allow him to pull away as he often likes to do. Why is my overlay not coming back up? I've lost my overlay. There we go. Right, so we are away. I missed the start of the race there. We are away, and it's going to be all about tucking in now. Although one car over there, what is going on? Who is that? That's JJ. What happened to JJ for him to drop down the order quite so much? Did he have a problem going through the gears? Something happened to JJ right at the beginning there. Has he been disconnected? Is there an issue for him? Yeah, it looks like we have lost JJ from this race already. So JJ disconnected, and that's not a great start for him. Shake Your Booty now, already a second clear with Ridders up there in second in the RS01. He's under pressure from Zumez, Portuguese driver making the move as they come out of turn 2. Can't hold it off though, and it's all to race for. And I tell you what, side by side through here is incredibly brave, particularly on lap 1 when your tyres are not quite up to temperature. You just want to take it a little bit easier. Ridders does hold on 4 seconds. Zumez backing off. He has got Vescu all over the back of him. These soft tyre runners are going to disappear. Looking at the hard tyre runners, so Shark lost some places. Dan is the front runner for them at the moment. He's tucked in behind Vale, and at the moment sticking with him and putting him under a bit of pressure. Now, this is the question. What we're going to see here now with the slipstream is just how close these cars go. We're going to see some cars are going to benefit much more from it than others. The BMW there of DJ, a surprise for me, but he's on the soft compound tyre, so he will initially get a run through that order. We've got Vescu tucked in behind him. We've got Dan and Vale side by side on this straight. Surely one's going to want to tuck in behind the other. You do not want to be giving up any slipstream there. And it looks to me like Dan has picked up the slipstream that he needs, and Vale is kind of off the venue now, tucked in behind. But Dan wanted to make sure he got in that slip as quickly as possible. Little bump there from Vale. And you're going to see a bit of this early on with the bumping drivers up the track. And anyone that hasn't never seen it before, it's called bump drafting. And the point of this is you give the car a little nudge, it gives them a little speed boost, and it pushes them ever closer to the cars up ahead. And look at Dan go up to turn 1. That is an absolute phenomenal bump from Vale. Vale's given him that little nudge. Vale stayed down there in 8th place, and Dan has absolutely blasted up the straight. Let's take a look at this. So he gets the bump from Vale. It sends him flying past 1, 2, 3, 4 cars all the way up the field, and Vale unfortunately staying down in 8th position, not getting the benefit he was hoping to get from giving Dan that bump. So Shake Your Booty is out in the lead. He's 1.9 seconds clear already. Nothing to see here. He is off ski. Zumez, he's got ahead of Ridders and he's just holding him about half a second back. Now we know this Audi RS01, good solid car, good straight line speed, but the Renault behind is super quick and will be putting him under a lot of pressure. Sorry, the Renault Audi RS, Renault RS01 is a solid car, and the Audi will give him a run for his money. Not a big fan of it, to be fair, this Audi, but he seems to be finding some pace from Zumez at the moment, and dropping the gorgeous looking Renault. 2.4 seconds to Jax. He is in a little bit of no man's land. 2.4 back to DJ. DJ, who I said wouldn't have the speed in that Z4. I'm right. Look at the train behind him. Look at how many cars in that slipstream train behind DJ. That's DJ in 5th. Dan, we've got Vescu, we've got Vale still there in 8th. We've got Shark there in 9th. And Vale, despite being on those soft compound tyres, he's not tucking into the slipstream for as much as you would expect. Shark's going 3 wide into turn 1, makes the move on Vale. Little tappity tap on Vescu, back end just stepping out, and that allows Vale to come back at him, and Vale's got that superior grip with those soft compound tyres. But somehow, some way, Shark holds on. So now Vale gets to come back at him. There's nowhere to overtake really through this sector 2 and the beginning of sector 3, which they're in now. You just have to kind of hang on and hope that the car in front doesn't have the extra impetus, the extra pace through this section, and you can use those tyres. That's what you're going to need. You're going to need to use those soft tyres and get them up the order as quickly as possible. You do not want, at this stage, on soft compound tyres, having qualified ahead of the hard tyre runners, to be behind them, because you're going to be pitting first. You're going to be giving up time to them, and you're already giving up track position. Other soft tyre runners, no more there. We've lost JJ already. Stu Shelton running back in 11th. He's already 3.4 seconds off the pace of Edinburgh lad, who's sticking with that battle. That's the battle at the moment for 8th, led by Shark on the hard compound tyres, with Val there. We'll see now, and you'll see the pace now in this GT Ford. If he stays tucked in behind that Peugeot, the Peugeot getting good traction behind Shark. I love those lights, man, when they go into the tunnel. It's just an awesome looking motor car. Across the start finish line, they go already over 170 miles an hour. We should see this go over 180. Although at the moment, Vale just dropping that car behind, you can see it. The gap's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, making the move on the Supra. Looking at the outside, Supra stays on the inside. Shark does not want to give up that inside line. And Shark holds on, but how long can he hold on for? He's on those hard tyres. The car behind is going to have such superior grip. Let's have a look at the battle for 3rd, if there is one. There isn't. Shake Your Booty, 1.2 clear. Zumez is closing on the back of Shake Your Booty. But interestingly, look at the state of the tyres already on that Audi. It has ripped through them like a barbed penis through a condom. Absolutely ripped holes in those tyres, and we're only on lap 4. There's only one real lap left in these tyres, if that, and you really are relying on your grip through here. The walls are not your friend. Ridders, he's in a similar position. Look at the rear tyre on that Renault Megane Senior, I'm going to call it. Jack's in a much better position. He's in that Aston Martin. He's got a good performance, actually, out of the Aston, up there in 4th place, although 3.5 seconds outside that top 3, but should get a lap or 2 more out of his soft compound tyres. DJ is bucking every trend I said about the Z4, and I hate when people prove me wrong. He is currently running in 5th, qualified right at the back, pretty much. Well, not right at the back of the soft tyre runners. Currently running in 5th. He's got really, really solid tyre wear, though. He can last a lot longer. There is the front runner for your hard tyre runners. That's Amsterdam. Got an absolute shoving from Vale at the end of lap 1, beginning of lap 2, which gave him a massive overboost into turn 1 and a 4-car overtake, essentially, to get him up the order where he is now. Vescu, though, putting Dan under significant pressure. But he's got Shark for company. Shark's going to make that move into turn 1. He loves that move into turn 1, loves that inside line. Absolutely brilliant move there from Shark ahead of Vescu, but Vescu coming back at him with the superior grip, but he's got a bit of damage, Vescu, and that's going to make it hard to keep the grip through this sector. And this, you don't want to be making an overtake through here. The only chance you really got to make an overtake here is a mistake for the car ahead. So Vescu tucked in behind. Vale still involved there. This is a 4-way battle, really, for 6th place at the moment. Very, very close run thing. It's Vale there in 9th place. He's behind Vescu. He's behind Shark. And Shark is tucked in behind Amsterdam. So 2 hard runners, 2 soft runners in this battle currently for 6th place. Good little fight going on in this midfield. A little bit further back, that's Edinburgh Lad now getting involved in that. He's really pulled away from Stu Shelton and got right involved. Soon as he gets a split straight line, this Ford GT absolutely making a move up the inside of that Peugeot. That's a great little move. Well, he's the switcheroo on. Doesn't get a switcheroo working. Edinburgh Lad makes it look very easy. Can he now put some pressure on Vescu? Got a great exit as well. So starting to drop Vale. That's Ridders and Zumez already in on lap 4. We thought that was a very likely scenario. That is going in. That's Shark getting rid of the hard compound tyres very, very early on. Now, is he going to do a couple of stops here and run on the softs? This is Edinburgh Lad. He's going to make a move on Vescu, pulling out of the slipstream already at 175, heading up the hill, trying to get immediately tucked in behind that Peugeot, not the Peugeot, the Alpha 4C of Amsterdam. He's really close to the back of him, not going to be able to make the move there. Is Vescu going to hold on and come back at him through turn 1? It's going to be his last opportunity, but he does muscle his way through. Vescu retaking that position, wide on the exit, leaves a bit of a gap, but Edinburgh Lad not able to capitalise on that. He's got the hard tyres. It's always going to be difficult to maintain that grip through here. But he is right in the dirty air of that GT500 just up ahead of him. Trying as much as possible to stay out of it. It's kind of a double-edged sword. You want to be that close to the back of another car. There is Vale getting involved. You want to be that close to the back of another car in a straight line. But absolutely do not want that drag reduction when you're going through corners. You do not want to have any air resistance that helps you keep the downforce, helps you keep the car on the track. As we see Edinburgh Lad making a move through that sector there. And actually, I don't know whether he's made the move a little early, because that's going to give Vescu the run all the way down from turn 12 onto lap 7, right up to turn 1 yet again. Tyres not looking great for Val. Val's going to need to pit for fuel as well. I think we'll see him come in this lap. So shake your booty in. He's out of fuel. Tyres, how were they looking when he came in? Not too bad. Probably could have done another lap knowing him. Who else is in now? So Vescu's looking good for tyres. He's coming in though. Edinburgh Lad coming in. So Jack's out in the lead. He's going one more in the Aston Martin. He's 4.2 clear of DJ. DJ's going one more as well in that Z4. We're on lap 7. They have to use the Racing Soft and the Racing Hard tyres today. But we've already noted that it's not going to be the 2-stop race we thought it might, or I thought it might, or the 1-stop race, sorry. It's definitely going to be a 2-stopper this time out. Maybe even a 3-stopper, depending on what they do tyre-wise. We noted that it was Shark who was on the hard tyres, but went in much earlier than he needed to on those hard tyres. So maybe he's going for lots of short stints at a rapid rate. Fastest lap at the moment is with Zumez. That's a 58.3. I do still think we've got a sub 158 lap in this lobby today, but it's going to take some doing. So Jax leads by 3.9 or 4 seconds over DJ Amsterdam on those hard tyres. He's stayed out as well, but this is the thing. Those that have already run the hard tyres don't have to run them again. And we can see that a tank of fuel is lasting about the same as the soft tyres are lasting, certainly for some of these cars. So there's no benefit now to using the hards again. For me, I would have dropped fuel down a little bit, so that it was so running the hard tyres and going a little bit longer would have been a benefit. It kind of takes any benefit of having that tyre away. Who was that? That was Vescu getting a little bit wobbly, losing a bit of time there to down there in 4th. He's going to be coming in this lap as well. Stu Shelton, he'll be coming in. There's Shaky Booty, so he will retake the lead of this race. He's 27 seconds behind the leaders, but he's under significant pressure from Zoomers at the minute. He is Zoomers-ing, or trying to Zoomers-ing past Shake Your Booty. Look at him tucked right up behind the Pioneer Michelin Peugeot VGT. He's giving him a little shove this time. Is he going to make the move the next time the draft pulls him closer? Pull him closer, Tiny Dancer. 175 topping out. Giving him another little nudge. So he's quite happy to sit in there. He's on medium tyres. Mediums are available, of course. I don't have to use the mediums, but they are available for use. So we'll see if anyone else uses those. Shake Your Booty, he's on the hards. He's getting those done and out of the way. Zumez making the move into the braking zone. Has he left it too late? Or has he got this job? Nicely done. That was very nicely done by Zumez there. Held off just until the right time. Had that little run up the hill. He was on the outside as well. Into the braking zone and much earlier on the brakes for Shake Your Booty. But he is on those hard compound tyres, so he's tucked in behind Zumez into second place. Third is Jax with those soft compound tyres on. He's put new tyres on, but he's only put half a tank of fuel in. Not opted to go full fill, but it's kept him up in that top 3. And the top 3 now are just edging away from Ridders, who is running in 4th position in that Renault. He's on the hard compound tyres now. He's getting those hard out of the way. Be interested to see if anyone else has opted for the mediums. Zumez has. Mediums are available. They don't have to use them, but they are available for use. Vescu as well has opted for medium compound tyres. It looks like it was a very smart choice. Shake going on to the hards. Zumez going on to the mediums. He does still need to make sure he runs both compounds. So he will need to run the hards at some stage. So at some point, Shake Your Booty will have an advantage over him. But look at Jax. Jax now in the slipstream of Shake Your Booty and giving him a little bit of something to think about. At the moment, the power of that Peugeot VGT just allowing him, even while punching a hole through the air, to pull away from Jax. Although it could be that Jax is just happy to sit in there, save a little bit of fuel, not put too much pressure on his tyres. At the moment, he's running well in 3rd place, and he did underfuel quite significantly compared to everyone around him. Down the order, there's Shark. He's up to 4th. He's run the hards. He went in very early on those hard compound tyres. He is not far off, only a couple of tenths off the fastest lap of the race. He's on now on those soft tyres. He's got Ridders for company. He's got just got past Ridders actually. Ridders sticking with him at the moment. They're 2.7 clear of Dan in the 4C, who is still got Vale for company. He's not been able to drop him. Vale is on the hard compounds now, so he's going to find it a little tougher through, particularly through sectors 2 and 3. Edinburgh lad, he would have already used his hard compound tyres now. He's going to be able now. Now we know in practice that he was very capable of going low at 158 on those soft tyres. If he can start doing that now, he can really start reeling in that top 6. DJ in the BMW Z4 went that a little bit longer than everybody else, or pretty much everybody else, which is going to benefit him because he will find himself moving up the order again through the next pit window. But down in 9th at the moment, he's on those hard tyres, 3.2 ahead of Stu Shelton, who is closing fast with Vescu in hot pursuit. Vescu on the mediums, Stu Shelton on those softs, and actually that's in a much better position for Vescu, particularly if he can get ahead of Stu Shelton and stay ahead, because he's going to be staying out a little bit longer. And he makes the move on Stu, and he makes the move before the braking zone. But does he go wide? Does that let Stu back at him? Stu's got the inside line. He's going to get on the power. He's now in that slipstream. This is the problem. You make the move too early. All you essentially do is punch a hole through the air for the car behind you. Vale, getting rid of those hard tyres. He's clipped a wall. He's getting rid of those hard tyres. He doesn't want anything to do with those in any way, shape or form. Shake Your Booty dropping off the pace. In fact, Jax now making the move on the championship leader. The guy who's won every race he has entered so far this season finds himself being overtaken by the Portuguese driver and the Brit. Jax now up into 2nd. Shake Your Booty, of course, is on those hard tyres. We know he's going to be giving up some grip in the braking zones. So don't read too much into it yet, folks. Although Zumez is on those medium and pulling away at the moment. Now, this is the thing. How long before this top 3 can give themselves a real cushion over the chasing pack? If they can give themselves 5, 6, 7, 8 seconds, it's a very different picture now, because then they can start just conserving a little bit, worrying about their own little battle in the top 3, but conserving a little bit and keeping those chasing behind at bay. And at the minute, I think it's more a case of, I would think these guys should be working together just to kind of edge up the road, try and pull away from the rest of the pack. But at the moment, they're just flat out hell for leather. No other real battles going on. There's Dan. He's about 2nd now behind Ridders. Just over a 2nd behind Ridders. Ridders on those hard compound tyres, so Dan will reel him in here, and he got really, really close through that hairpin, and should see the 4C making a move. He's doing absolutely what you'd expect. He's giving him that nudge, giving him that bump. Now he's getting a great slipstream. Look at that. He's almost attached to the back of that. It just goes to show just how good the slipstream is. That he's giving him a bump, and he's tucked right in. Let's go in cockpit view. Look at that. It's a whole lot of massive Renault arse. He can see nothing else. He's going to have to pull out of there in the braking zone pretty soon. Does he make the move? Side by side, they're going up to turn 1. Up they go. He's got the speed, he's got the grip, he's got the tyres. He makes that move, and Ridders dropping down to 6th position. Basically dragged with his hard tyres, dragged Dan all the way up that straight. And then Dan making a move into turn 1. We said before we started here that turn 1 was going to be, turn 1 of that straight was going to be where the majority of the overtakes were, and that seems to be where they're all happening today. That long run down, get up the hill, and then make the move, and a lot around the outside as well. You've just got that little bit more grip around the outside. It's a longer way round, but they seem to have a better grip and certainly a better exit going around the outside in turn 1 into turn 2. Edinburgh Lad 4.1 seconds down of that order. He is on the soft compound tyres. Expected more from him this race. He's in the 59s now, but he needs to start finding those kind of lap times consistently. 15 seconds clear of Vescu, who's now ahead of Stu Shelton and ahead of DJ, and DJ with some damage on those hard tyres. There's Vale. Vale 27 seconds back, but he is just on his first hot lap after his 2nd pit stop. So he's way out of the pit sequence, but almost a minute off the leaders now. And bearing in mind that Shake is in the same car, you can see the gulf in performance between the current championship leader and Valentino Rossi's biggest fan. Zumez, not only is he still leading this race, he is Zumezing ahead, 4.2 seconds clear. Now, his prediction for this race, and we will check the predictor bot. Prediction for this race for him was way down in 11th place. If he finishes with the win today, that is going to be massive haul for him in terms of performance points for and credits as well. Big bonuses for outperforming your predicted position. Looking very comfortable at the moment on those mediums. Should be able to run the tank dry with the tyres he's got on. Shaky Booty, he's going to run a bit longer, but he's got a bit of a train behind him. He's ahead of Jax again. But now we've got Shark ahead. We've got Shark ahead of Jax. Shark now putting some pressure on. And it's good to see Shark putting pressure on these top three. Absolutely all over the back of them. It's a three-way battle. We go on board with Jax or the chase cam. This is a battle for third currently. Dan's not too far off that. For second currently. With Shaky Booty in second. That's Shark just behind him. And Jax, we're just drone camming Jax as we speak now. Soft tyres for all of them bar Shake, who's going to stay out that little bit longer. Can these two get the move done on that Peugeot and just start to try and rein and Zumez in? At the moment, Zumez in a really strong position. He's able just to open up the gap and just pull it ever further forward and make more and more of an inroads into taking a big win for him. Jack's just outside that slipstream range. Dan not though, he's picking up a little bit. Not quite what he was on that last lap, but picking up some Jack's this time. Ridder's 3.7 back. Edinburgh at 2.8 back. They're not getting anything. Stu Shelton getting a nice little tug from Vescu. Not the happy finish kind, but the punching a hole through the air kind. He should be able to get that Nissan, but the newer Nissan, past its predecessor into turn one. Or is he happy just to kind of stay plonked in there? It would be interesting if we could see if they're fuel mapping here. And I mean, you can see there he's not. These cars should be doing 170 when they're crossing the line, really. But Vescu's got some pace in that. I'm revving the absolute nuts out of it in top gear. hitting that rev limiter very early on. So Vescu does stay ahead. Vale back there in 10th position. He's 2.7 ahead of DJ, who's not been able to recreate his heroics of that first stint. Okay, Shark starting to rein in. He's past Shaky Booty, and Zuma's starting to get reined in now. Although looking at the strategies, they're very similar strategies. Although the tyres are different. Cal 1, hello, goodbye. American driver, I haven't seen him for some time. I don't know whether he's friends with any of these guys. I know I've raced a few times with him. So Zuma's rounds at that turn 12. Well, it's turn 11 then turn 12. I don't know how they count it. I think if you don't brake for it, if you take it flat out, it's a wiggly straight. So Zumez, is he going to peel off to the left-hand side? Yes, he does. He's in. What about Shark? Shark's staying out. He's definitely got another lap in him. So Shark is your new race leader in that Toyota Supra. I didn't think the Supra was going to be one of the better performing cars here today, but how wrong was I? Shaky Booty, of course, he's staying out. He's on the hard tyres. He's going to be running longish through this particular session. Probably another, well, there's only been one more stop for him with the way he's running with the hards. He's really in fuel conservation mode through this section, getting the most out of the tyres, most out of the fuel before we'll go back onto the softs and finish this race that way. Shark, we know, has already run the hards as well. He'll come in at the end of this lap. Dan, his tyres have given out before the fuel. Does he opt to stay out in that 4C, knowing that it really does rely on grip through this particular sector? I think it's a brave man who stays on tyres that are showing these kind of signs of wear. And you can see he's just starting to drop off the pace a little bit as the tyres are going out from underneath him. There's Jax there in the total Aston Martin. 1 second behind Dan. He's going to be pitting at the end of this lap. Got very, very close to the wall. 4.2 back to Ridders. And Ridder's going to be running a little bit longer. Of course, he's on a different strategy on those hard tyres. Yellow flag up ahead. That is a mistake from who? Was that Dan that made an error? Let's see if we can have a look and see what happened to Dan. So did the tyres give out for him as we thought they might do? They did. It was that tyre that gave the worn tyre that really caused him problems. So he's losing those positions now. He's going to have to come in. He's going to need to repair and get rid of those tyres. So yes, absolutely needs to change those tyres out. We'll see him peel off to the left-hand side. So Shark is in, Jax is in, Shake Your Booties back into the lead of this race, and he is nearly 8 seconds clear of Revolution Racing's Ridders. They're ridding the world of other drivers, one race at a time. Currently running in second position. That's 2 hard tyre runners out in the lead. Vescu up into third. He's on those mediums. He's got a pretty decent run still left to go. 27 seconds off those leaders. I think he might be your next race leader once Shake and Ridders go in. Stu Shelton, he's going to be peeling off to the left-hand side at the end of this lap. He's decided to stay out for one more. Look at the flames coming out of the side of the car up ahead. The graphics just phenomenal. When people talk about Forza and the graphics on Forza, the graphics are shit on Forza. They've got shadows on the tyres, man. They've got reflections on the tyres. Tyres don't reflect shit. They're black. The graphics on Forza are nothing compared to this, in my opinion. And it's a fire. The only thing that they have got right is that they've got a slightly better penalty system. That's the only thing I would say. I did initially like Forza when I first started playing it, but it was very clear as soon as you go online, it's an absolute wanker fest. It makes the daily racing here look like the cleanest racing you've ever seen. 5.2 seconds. That's get back to Shark. He's back out there in that top 5. Don't overlook him as a potential race winner here today. Zumez as well. He has shown incredible pace all day and currently still has that fastest lap. He's on those hard tyres and he does need to run them for a little bit in that Audi rate. How long does he run them for? Does he run them to the end? If he does, has he got the pace in them? That's the question. Jack's there out in 7th. He's on the hards as well. Is he also running to the end? We're on lap 15 of 23 here. Tokyo Expressway. This is round 6 of the ZFS Championship into the second half of this 10 race ZFS Championship season. This is lobby number 1, of course. Shake Your Booty is so far running away with the championship. Edinburgh lad, he is going to get a really good run on Jax. The pace in this GT4 is just so good. Stu showing into the pits as we thought, dropping down to 8th. That promotes Edinburgh lad up. Amsterdam is way back in 8th. That spin, those tyres giving out on him have made a massive difference, and he's not going super quick as he paused. Maybe he's just got his hazards on because he's hazardous, but he doesn't look to be going as quick as I thought he might be. DJ there in that Z4. He's 9.7 seconds back. He's going to have to pit again before the end of this race. Stu Shelton looking at the tyres. I think you're going to have to go again, my friend. Vale, I really expected with that car, Vale to be further up the order. He just hasn't been able to do anything really with that superior machine. In fact, the best thing we've seen him do was give Dan a nudge and help Dan take 4 positions with 1 overtake. So Shake Your Booty back into the lead of this race, as you would expect, with him being championship leader. Into the pits he comes at the end of lap 16, and this is his final stop. What's Ridders going to do? Are we going to have another leader? We're not, because Ridders is going to come in. Vescu now is ahead of Shark. He's got damage. Shark has not. So Vescu will be our 5th different leader today. 5th different leader in this race today. Through comes Vescu. Assuming Shake's not out yet. No, he's not. Vescu comes through. He'll take the lead of this race. Booyah. Indeed. Oh, no, Shake is out. Vescu doesn't get the honour because Shake Yabuti out of the pits. It's a very, very short pit exit here. Incredibly quick. Although Vescu does get it because he had the run on him. It looks like as well Shark will have the run. He'll get that move done. To be fair, I should have known that. You don't come out of the pits at full belt, do you? Right, so Shake Yabuti doesn't have to stop again. Vescu and Shark. I think Shark probably will, unless he's going to go one of those crazy ones on the soft tyres. I think he's going to need to stop again. Vescu, we know, definitely does need to stop again, and he's got damage. And already Shake Yabuti is knocking on the Vescu's door. I done. Back up into second. Is he going to? If he gets Shark now, then I think it's the Shake Yabuti show all over again here in the ZFS Championship. Zumez, though, has he got something else to say about this? Zumez did lead the race for a significant portion, and not to be sniffed at portion of this race. He is looking pretty quick. He's still got that fastest lap, although I'm sure Shake Yabuti will be eyeing that as a potential target to beat over the next few laps. But Zumez hasn't got it all his own way. He's got the Ford GT of Edinburgh Lad, the Scots driver, behind him, putting him under pressure. Ridders in that Renault RS01, putting him under pressure. This is a 3-way battle at the moment for 4th place. And 4th place puts you at a shot of getting 3rd. Bearing in mind that Vescu most certainly has to pit again, and Shark possibly does. Is that a move up the inside by Edinburgh Lad? They're going to be side by side. Tucks in the end, tucks him back behind Zumez. He's been super quick. Can Ridders get tucked in now behind that Ford GT? I think these two cars are just going to edge away a bit from Ridders. And this is a battle now for 3rd, and Edinburgh Lad makes the move across the line up into 3rd and robs that position from Zumez, and now just weaving trying to prevent Zumez from getting any kind of slipstream, from preventing him from getting in that hole through the air, being punched by the very sleek, very aerodynamic Ford GT. Edinburgh Lad holds on, and once you get through there, it's yours for the next few corners. Ridder's opportunity now to close on the back through this sector. Dan back up to 6th. He's going to have to pit again though for more tyres. We saw they don't last the distance, and the last set he pushed them past their useful limits, and they punished him in a big way. 7 tenths to Jax. Jax could very well be stealing a top 6 place from Dan. And we used to see in Amsterdam challenging in the upper echelons, certainly one of those battling for a top 3. And certainly not, and I've got to say, credit to Edinburgh Lad, we don't usually see Edinburgh Lad up in the nosebleeds with these guys, but he is doing a great job at the moment. DJ up to 8th in that Z4. He's going to have to stop again, replace that some tyres. Vescu's going to run to the end. He's on the hard tyres. He's 1.3 clear of Stu Shelton. He'll go to the end of the thought on those soft tyres. So he's going to be putting some pressure on Vescu very soon. He's going to need Vescuing. Vale, it's just what happened to Vale. Consistency seems to be the one thing that's causing Vale all kinds of problems at the moment. He'll flip from a 2:06 to a 2-minuter. So he's clearly not finding any consistent pace. Certainly not in the same sort of pace as his compatriot out in front. But credit to these drivers, because we're on lap 18 of 23 here, and the entire field is only separated by 46 seconds. Now, usually, people watching Grand Prix will know that the field spread is usually a bit bigger than this, even when you've got pretty evenly matched drivers in terms of rankings. So credit to all of them to be within this, certainly within half a lap of each other. So Shaky Booty does lead the race. He hasn't got it all his own way at the moment because Shark is putting the screws in. They're now 9.6 clear of anybody else, this top two. The top two just starting to edge away from everybody else. Now the problem, of course, is, or the big question is whether or not Shark can keep these tyres working for the remaining 4.5 laps or 4.25 laps of this race, or whether he does need to get a set of fresh boots on. And whether or not that plays into Edinburgh Lad's hands. Edinburgh Lad's run both mandatory soft and hard compounds. He's now on the mediums, which I think is a sensible choice for finishing this race. You ensure you get a better grip than the hards, but less degradation than the softs. I think it's a good halfway balance. Kind of like when you're trying to find a wife. You don't marry the hottest girl you find because she's going to be equally crazy with the hotness. You want to kind of find someone balanced on the hot crazy scale. So not quite a 10, but obviously then not a 10 on the crazy scale either. That's what I mean. It's nice and balanced. Dan up to 4th. He's going to have to pit again. I can't see him keeping those tyres anywhere near viable. He may try and stay out, but I think that's going to put him. He's going to be vulnerable to Ridders. He's going to be vulnerable to Zumez and vulnerable to Jax if he doesn't change the tyres anyway. So he may, at the moment, he's in a position where he may as well. You've got nothing. He's got nothing to lose as it stands by pitting and putting fresh tyres on. And if I were him, I would do it at the end of this lap because he's going to have to go 3 more laps on tyres that have no business being on a racetrack. If he wants to stand a chance of gaining a position back, I think he's got to do it because he's definitely going to lose out to Ridders, Zumez and Jax, maybe even DJ. Well, actually, DJ's got pit himself. So there we go. So DJ's got pit. So that would give him a place to slot into around Vescu. Vescu is, let's have a look. So Dan is 14 seconds off the leaders. He's got a pit window to around DJ and Vescu. DJ will go in. He needs to swap out those tyres at the end of this lap. He can't possibly try to go to the end. And if he does, he's going to be swallowed up anyway. This track is too unforgiving to try and drive it with tyres that just aren't up to scratch. We've seen that already with Dan, and it threw him into the wall. Is he going to take the risk though? I think if he looks back at this race, he'll see that the window was there. Obviously, he doesn't necessarily know the window's there. He doesn't know what everybody else is running, what situation they're in. So he's probably doing a judgment call, which is, I'm going to stay out. We'll see now. If he's going to go in, this is the time he's got to do it. He's got to give himself a couple of laps to get up to speed. Does he peel off to the left-hand side here on lap 20? Or does he stay out? It looks to me that he has no intention of pitting again in this race in that 4C. So I think Dan's going to be vulnerable to Ridders very, very shortly, though Ridders does have some damage he's got to contend with. Zumez on the hard tyres, but Zumez has got loads of tyre in it. And as the tyres start to go off for Amsterdam, it's going to be a difficult job. I genuinely think he's going to be vulnerable to those cars behind with better tyres. We'll soon see if I am proved incorrect. I usually am. Let's be fair, I usually am proved incorrect. Zumez getting a great run on Ridders up to toe. I'm not quite close enough this time to make the move, but Ridders has got a whole lot of Portuguese in his mirrors right now. There is Jax running in 7th place. He's going to the end of the race as well. Let's have a look out front. How is Shark getting on with Shaky Booty? Well, he's clearly had to back off a little bit. Shaky Booty's on the soft compound tyres. He's now got the fastest lap of the race, and he's beat it by next to nothing. 58.343 for him. But just edging away from Shark and giving Shark a dilemma. Does Shark push now with those tyres, knowing that he could very well be putting himself into a dangerous position towards the end of the race with tyres with very little grip? or does he resign himself to the fact that a top 2 finish behind the current championship leader is not actually a bad place to be? But it looks like Shake Your Booty is going to make it 6 from 6 in this ZFS championship season. Phenomenal racing from him. Edinburgh Lad with a really, really good, strong finish there in 3rd as it stands. Just a couple of laps remaining for him. And despite the fact he wasn't able to recreate his practice lap pace in those 158s, that superior straight line speed in that Ford GT has really proved to be his friend today, and an absolute masterstroke finishing on the medium tyres for him. Just gives him that extra little bit of tyre life to push towards the end. So Dan is up there in 4th. Now he's not decided to pit, he's got 2 laps to go, his rear tyre is shot. Now it wasn't that shot when he got thrown into the wall back down on lap 14, I think it was. It's a risky move, I think, because we've got Ridders behind. Now, Dan's last lap was way off the pace, 2:01.5 for him. Ridders with a 2:02.4, though, on those medium tyres because he's got damage. Zumez behind. He's on the hards. He can't find a way around Ridders at the moment. And he's only in the 2:01.3, so actually, it looks like Dan could be proving me wrong yet again. He's just got to not crash, that's the problem. He's got to make sure he doesn't crash, and the thing is that with his tyres as they are, that's going to be a very difficult thing to do. And it depends how much pace he loses over these next couple of laps. Of course, he can go flat out in a straight line, but he's got to be so careful. He's got to tiptoe through the final couple of sectors here, particularly through this. This is where it all went wrong for him last time. Does he survive? Oh, again, the car gets really wobbly through there. This time, though, he does hold on, but the gap down to 1.5 seconds now. Ridder's reeling him in. Zumez coming along for the ride with him. And we're just heading to the end of lap 22. Ridder's already within that 1 second window, chasing down a car whose tyres just aren't up to the job. A little bit twitchy there from Ridders. Zumez capitalising on that. This is the 3-way battle now for 4th position. Edinburgh Lad is going to hold on for 3rd, albeit unless something drastic happens on this final lap. So starting lap 23, Shake Your Booty leads from Shark, from Edinburgh Lad in 3rd. This is the battle for 4th position. Dan on short tyres, running in 4th ahead of Ridders, who is under significant pressure from the Portuguese driver Zumez. Zumez making the move with the slipstream over past Ridders. He finally got that job done. It's taken him a couple of laps. He's getting a great run on the back of the Alpha 4C. He might not get to the braking zone before he has to slam on those anchors. Can't make the move into turn 1. He's going to have to get this done at some point else on this racetrack. He's relying on Dan making an error. Dan is going to have to defend for dear life. That's brought Ridders back into the fight as well. Dan holding these cars up, positioning his car to prevent them getting through. He knows that he can block them off through sectors 2 and sector 3, where there is just nowhere to overtake. Oh, look at Zumez. Zumez forcing his way through, makes the move. All out of shape is Amsterdam. Ridders having another little Dan clip in the wall. That gives Ridders the run. Ridders up the inside. Ridders up into 5th. Dan sinking like a stone through the order on this last lap here. Lap 23 at Tokyo. Zumez just 0.8 of a second ahead of Ridders. Can Ridders put one last push on those medium tyres to put the Portuguese driver under pressure, as Dan is sticking with the, I say sticking with the battle, Dan is now facing in the wrong direction. So Dan out of that. Is Jax going to make the move on, he does. I said that was going to happen. I don't often get things right. I was absolutely bang spot on. If he'd pitched for soft tyres, he would be racing to the end here in exactly the position he's in. Shake Your Booty across the line. He takes the win from Shark. Edinburgh Lad coming home in 3rd. A great finish from Shake Your Booty yet again, winning here in this ZFS Championship. There is Edinburgh Lad across the line, that Ford GT. Great finish from him. Good points haul. Zumez holds on, takes 4th place. Dramatic last lap from him and Ridders. Jax getting through after Dan's tyres fully gave up on him. The irony being, if Dan had pit on lap 20, this is where he would have been with fresh tyres and able to put a bit of pressure on Jax and maybe Ridders as well towards the end of that lap. But bad daily option, DJ coming home in 8th, proved me wrong that the Z4 actually had a bit more pace than expected. Vescu couldn't get the classic GTR up to speed. Vale home in 10th, and Stu Shelton, I don't know what went wrong for Stu Shelton at the end there, but he was looking promising for a much higher finish, but finds himself some way back, 17 seconds back in the end. But yet again, your race winner, championship leader, and running away with this championship like he's the only one competing. It's Shake Your Booty, yet again, car number 52. And it's getting a little bit boring now, mate. Can you let someone else win? But what a finish! What a finish to the race there from Ridders and Dan, and Zumez really good wheel to wheel action. And Zumez threw that. It was a car's width gap. The gap was there, and he threw his car into that gap and made the way through. And that just gave Ridders a little bit of impetus as well. Congratulations to everyone. What a finish to that race. We are back next week with more from the boys at ZFS. Why is that not working now? Where are we next week? We are at glorious Goodwood. Gotta love a bit of Goodwood. Classic racing at Goodwood in the Suzuki Swift. Now, my daughter is going to be at Taylor Swift the night before that, so we'll be arriving home. She will have arrived home at some point in the afternoon, very tired from seeing the money-grubbing American songstress in Edinburgh. So, in honour of the money-grubbing songstress, we will be racing Swifties around Goodwood next week. All that's left to say is thank you very much for joining me. This has been round 6 of the ZFS Championship Season 6. There are 4 rounds remaining. We will be back next week for some more, but for tonight it has been emotional.